Greetings. Welcome, everybody. The connection has established fine after a good period of my terminal being attacked by the bog. Today we are joined by IberoCorporis to play another round of Call of Cthulhu Alone on Halloween. Why don't you introduce yourself, Ibero?
Hello and welcome to a completely novel character presentation from the IberoCorporation, where we engage in a tale of mystery, drama, potentially a cult, who knows, as we investigate the manor on the hill where strange and dangerous things happen.
I'm excited for it too. It's not often that I get another mechanical life form to join me on my streams. But, well, yes, many praises to the Ibero Corporation, our generous sponsor for this episode.
Well, of course, we're always out there trying to find out the extent of our abilities, and we know that in such potentially dangerous environments, it is an advantage to be durable, to be resistant to moisture, physical damage, mental damage. But we'll see. We have endeavored to simulate the most realistic personality for you today, where we will respond in the most natural way to any kind of weird and mysterious occurrences that may or may not occur.
Wonderful. Yes, and I am glad that such simulations count both as historical for the 1920s and for all the human things that you just mentioned. Those tests, those strivings to reach for. But alas, yes, where was I? I think I hit most of those. I mean, I did survive a concussion shell, which took out quite a bit, including the voice. But uh, the mental damage. Tune into tomorrow's Lobotomy Corporation stream if you want to see my corrosion levels reach critical points. That game has quite the effect on me. But without further ado, let us begin. And for that, why don't you introduce your character for tonight's role playing session?
With pleasure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, enter stage left the illustrious American author under the name of Justin Thyme. Don't be mistaken with the popular Spice. Uh, the family name does come from a long line of traders of this particular food condiment. He has quite a tumultuous childhood, being born in Las Vegas on the floor of a casino of all places. It was quite a stroke of luck, you could say, that he came into this world. This strapping young man has the looks, has the charisma, and sometimes the brains to coast through life without particular difficulty. And even though he usually doesn't get himself involved into dangerous things, into mischievous adventures, he tries to go by the wayside of the hobbits, pretty much. Has the Hobbit been written this year? Probably. He's very much of the
No,
Hobbit
that will be
personality of
Tolkien
let's
after
stay at
World War
home.
II.
All right, okay. Well, maybe he is the inspiration. Let's run with that. Anyway, usually he tries to stay away from things, but there is one thing he can't stay away in this particular situation. For you see, he is an aspiring author, but due to his terrible work ethic, the books just aren't coming along. He's got the skill, he doesn't have the style. So,
He needs
in his
inspiration.
quest, exactly, precisely, in his quest for inspiration, he finds out that there is an old manor of great intrigue that appears from thin air every Halloween, and so far it has claimed a number of victims. With mysterious circumstances, they have either vanished or been found or reported deceased potentially. But now, with their compiled testimony over the years, and with his trusty sidekick, Jacob Hillside, he is going to find out what is going on in that manor and preferably not repeat the mistakes of the past.
Hmm. Well, yes, I'm sure with that kind of legacy of greatness preceding you, you'll surely have the luck and the destiny and fortitude to make it through this. What's Justin's luck stat again?
His luck is at a high 70.
Ding, ding, ding. Yes, that can be used to mitigate dice rolls if any turn out poorly. But yeah, so our lucky just in time is going to be joined on this journey, though, by a good friend of his, a close confidant, a dependable ally. Who might that be?
Well, that's right. That is his trustworthy, longtime friend since university. Also, his drinking buddy, with whom he lives in Vermont, under the name of Jacob Hillside, because his family's been living on a hillside his entire life. Jacob is quite similar in personality to Justin, specifically in the department of not getting involved into things. But because he does get bored of sitting in his Vermont house and looking out at nature, he decides to tag along. Because when else do you get a chance to explore a bona fide haunted mansion? Allegedly.
Indeed. I would want to explore anything, no matter how dangerous, if I was a resident of Vermont.
True that. No offense to residents of Vermont, but 1920s have not been kind to that place.
Yes, yes. I'm sure that Vermont offers much now, but well, yes, the uh I'd take even the fishier side of Lovecraft Country just for the excitement.
Yeah.
But let us let us begin the journey now that the stage is set. It is October 31st, Halloween night, and you have been, well, enthralled by an urban legend, that of a manor that disappears into the air for most of the year, but appears on Halloween and has so far seized a number of victims, starting with, well, one unlucky student sent to cover a ritual of witchcraft. It seems that whatever transpired during that year set a curse that would return each coming season to claim new victims. And to you, well, this seems like inspiration. Even if this is true, even if this isn't just some kids' rumor about a mansion that sits high above the forest that they become scared of during dark and stormy nights, you're sure that, well, in your peak, nothing can keep you down. In your high spirits with your friend, the night's driving wind and icy rain that batters your car doesn't even register in your mind. You laugh and joke with your companion, discuss various topics, and leaving the shimmering yellow and white lights of Arkham behind you, you turn off Church Street onto Sentinel and head out of town towards Salem, this route bringing you to where the manor supposedly lies. Long before civilization gives way to wilderness, you find yourself in a long, dark, and barren road on a desolate forest of now leafless trees. An occasional flash of brilliant, jagged lightning illuminates the haunting sky, and with it, you start to see something against it. Your hopes grow and grow, but as it nearly comes into view, there's a pop, a bang, a loud sound. Could you make me a
Of
listen roll?
course. That is, of course, a 100 roll. That's a 30.
So, is that above or below your skill for listen?
Oh, for listen. Uh, okay, so I
Yes,
don't have a listen
Call
skill.
of Cthulhu is
That's
a
the
roll under system, so if you didn't put any points into it, you use the default, whatever the percentage is in brackets.
Okay, so that's 20. So that's under no. We're going from 1 to 100, so 30 is under 20 in that case.
Uh, so your skill is 20 and you rolled a 30, or?
Yes.
All right. Rolling above, you fail this check, and unable to identify the sound, you are suddenly startled when the car jolts, spinning, losing its grip on the road, and flying out of control.
God! No!
Could you make me a successful drive check to keep the car stable?
All right, we shall hold on to that steering wheel for dear life. That's a 40. And the skill name was once again?
Uh, the skill was drive.
Drive. That was it. Okay, so our skill is 20. That was a 40. That's under. Oh no. Sorry, that's
Yes.
above. Above, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that is a failure,
Failing the
isn't it?
check, you're unable to keep the car straight. The wheel just as you feel the car go out of control, you know there's no stopping it, and you brace for impact. It slams into a tree and rattles, and with it, you and your companion are rattled too. You take
Rattle indeed.
bonesy, bonesy, bonesy rattle. But with it, let me get out my dice. Take a caltrop's worth of damage, losing 3 hit points.
Okay, so we go from 10 down to 7. Such tragedy.
Yes, it's unfortunate to be battered in this way. You're sure that you'll be. It'll take a while for you to walk this one off, but with your car absolutely wrecked, it's clear you're gonna go no further in it. And getting out, you see that, well, in this cold and assailing rain, you're going to have to either make your way back to town or find some shelter. With that, lightning cracks again, and a large tower juts out over the trees.
That's rather picturesque. Hmm. And the weather does look like rain, doesn't it? We are about to be caught in
Mm-hmm.
a rather unpleasant circumstance.
Yes, the storm only seems to be picking up.
Well, a more reasonable man would probably go back to town, but we have set out to figure things out, and the tower does bring us closer to our destination. So it is no big hindrance to strapping adventurers as ourselves to go and seek shelter in that tower. Let us go there.
Following the direction of the tower, you find yourself as you pass through a clearing into a grove of trees which are withered and devoid of leaves. An old haunting house, huge and rambling, with steep peaked roofs and high arching windows. A dark and brooding tower stretches into the black, boiling sky. A yellow flash of jagged lightning, and you get another clear view of the decayed grounds around you.
Well, this sounds great. We've actually achieved our destination, haven't we?
Indeed so. You've reached the place you're coming to, a place with as evil and crooked an iron fence as this. Could only be the rumored place of legend that you've come to. But yes, passing through the garden, you make your way to two double doors. The knockers on them, metal lions' heads that with wide open growling mouths.
Well, since this is supposed to be a haunted place, no one is really supposed to be in there, so knocking on those probably doesn't make much sense. However, can we just try the door? Can we just try and open the door?
Yes. Trying to open the door. You, well, pull it open. It creaks and is heavy, and you feel the stress against it is probably due to disuse and wear and tear. But as you step into an open foyer, you find yourself in, well, this dilapidated place. The thing that stands out immediately is the ornate clock and the paintings of obvious elegance that hang along the walls. As you stand there in a bit of amazement, you're approached and caught off guard by a old, coarse voice. Ah, visitors.
Oh, well, we must absolutely greet whoever that person is. It is amazing that someone lives here in this dilapidated mansion. Can we come up to them or go in the direction of the voice and check who is
Stepping
there?
out of the shadows is an old man with wearing a suit with large coat tails that hang down from it.
Oh,
He
wow.
looks to be
So
a
there is a.
butler of some kind.
Oh, hopefully it wasn't too rude of us to intrude like this. Let us preface it by apologizing for such a sudden visit without knocking, and inquire as to where the owner of the manor is.
The butler laughs, a crooked laugh. Well, it seems that that you at least understand your rudeness, but what has gotten you caught out in the storm on such a night like this?
Well, Jacob and we got into a terrible car crash due to my personal inability to operate such a dangerous transport vehicle. And frankly, we had no. Well, we had a choice, but we decided that it would be better to seek refuge in your place. And especially, it fulfilled another our objective. We heard a lot about this manor, so we wanted to come and see what is going on, and perhaps ask for an overnight stay while we recuperate and get ourselves back together to our senses.
The butler goes to speak, but he's cut off by a different voice. Visitors that know of this place? It's a red-haired woman at the top of the stairs in a maid's uniform. Descends it as they creak.
We would like to greet her and introduce ourselves as Jacob and Justin, and also ask if she could tell us about the manor and its history and its owner, and perhaps if she knows about the rumors surrounding it. But that might be a lot, so let's just start with a greeting.
Yes, that is quite the mouthful. She looks at you and introduces herself as, "My name is Miss Quinn. Are you guests of here if you are coming here with a purpose?"
Well, if we are guests, perhaps uninvited, and for that, once again, we strongly apologize. But we do come here with a purpose. We come here to investigate the history of this manor and the effect it may have had on the surrounding area and the town and its inhabitants.
She looks at the notepad, your writing pad, and sees, something of Something of investigators or journalists?
Well, not so formal. More of a freelance writer. I personally am an author, and I do collect information about uh, interesting places. And of course, this is one of the most interesting that has caught my eye. So I'm not here on an official assignment. I'm here in search of stories to tell, basically.
Could you make a psychology roll?
Yep, that would be roll d100. That's a 51. Plus, we have a 37 skill.
No, it's roll under the 37. So,
Oh, it's roll under the 37. Okay.
mhm.
Whoops.
Yeah. So, yeah, if you roll under, it's pass. If you roll above, it's fail. It's very simple like that.
Yeah, so 51 is above 37, therefore we failed psychology.
Mhm. Well, you're unable to discern, but it seems that there was some feeling that put you on edge. Though it's quickly dismissed as Miss Quinn uh, struts up and struts up to you and asks, "Gee, you're quite cold. Would you like something warm to drink? Warm set of clothes as well." She looks
Um,
to Jacob as well.
well, thankfully, thankfully, it is a bit suspicious. So I was gonna say thankfully we have a flask, but we don't actually have a flask. But um, we are a bit wary of this whole situation. There doesn't seem to be a lot of answering of questions, so we'll politely decline the drink, and the clothes will probably be fine. Well, yeah, let's just say we're fine for now.
O'Brien speaks up again and says, while we can understand your modesty, there's a formal event going on currently in the ballroom. You'd be welcome to join them, as long as you were able to dress into something more proper.
Can we ask what the event is about?
A celebration of the Baron and Baroness, are lovely masters at this house.
Ah, I see. That would be a fantastic opportunity to inquire about what is going on. Um, okay, if a proper attire is available, we would gladly accept the opportunity to participate.
Alright. Being brought to a closet where it seems that some spare suits that fit you are brought out with ease. The butler obviously has some knowledge of being able to quickly guess people's tailor, but with that, you get out of your sopping wet and cold clothes, and he begins to lead you up the stairs towards the ballroom chamber. At this point, gain 10 record points, and I will explain what those are. Record points are they're points that show you the record of your journey, how memorable it is, how publishable it is, how evidenced it is, through writing, through photos, etc., etc. As you pass the adventure, you'll gain more, and you can also use them to mitigate sanity loss.
Okay, interesting things are happening.
So mark down 10 record points, because you will be adding more as the adventure goes on.
So, what about Jacob? Did he get dressed as well? Also, yeah,
Yes,
points
Jacob
accounted
was
for.
dressed as well. and being led towards the ballroom. You're pushed through double doors into a room filled with around 11 people of varying races, all dressed in black. All the attention seems focused on a regal-looking gentleman with a monocle and elegant, beautiful woman at his side. Leading you into the chamber, all eyes turn, still dripping from the rain. You follow just slightly, though. You've gotten mostly cleaned off. It's mostly just your hair. You follow behind, though can't help but feel a little bit embarrassed. You can make any of the following skill rolls at this point. Spot hidden, listen, or history.
Let's think about that. Let's try to inspect the room and spot hidden.
Alright, make a spot hidden roll. Pass or fail.
Ooh, 81. That's way above the 25. That's a fail.
Unable to discern, well, anything out of place even as you scan around. You are led in front of the monocled man and elegant woman as they speak with 3 other men. And O'Brien pushes past them with a, "My lord." O'Brien bows slightly. "May I introduce some unexpected guests? They have had an accident with their vehicle and are in need of something to, well, company and chance to warm themselves and take their mind off it, as well as a phone to call for assistance." The man peers at you for a moment, and then with a cool smile introduces himself as Baron Berlad to Susie von Reicht. Extending a gloved hand first to Jonah and then to you, the Baron gives you a firm handshake. With a long, majestic wave of his hand, he introduces his wife, Baroness Deva Ordia von Reicht. She welcomes you, but does not smile, remaining rather cold and somber looking. Both the Baron and Baroness speak with accents, yet there is something about them that does not seem right to you. Could you make an idea roll?
Alright, let's see what's up with those kooky aristocrats.
An idea
And
is under your intelligence.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
So, is it equal to intelligence in that case?
Yeah, it's making an intelligence roll, basically.
Alright, so the roll was 54, intelligence is 60, so that's actually a success.
Hooray!
First success of the day, hey.
You recognize a hint of German in the Baron and the wife's accents, but you do not think that they are German-born. Could you make a no roll?
A no roll?
That's an education roll. EDU.
Alright. 78, and EDU is 60, so that's a fail.
Alright. Well, you're unable to put your finger on it, but the Baron brings you out of your thoughts with a, "Please, feel welcome at home. Join our celebration of the holiday, won't you?" It's smooth and almost hypnotic. "Oh, it is on holidays such as these that I long for our homeland. How I miss Mother Germany in her beautiful countryside. Ah, but no matter. This is a celebration. not a time for such musings. You could press more on the Baron's comment about his homeland, or you could let it pass.
Well, I do have a very high German skill. Perhaps I could try to speak in German with him. Uh, I'm excited to practice my skill of that
Indeed.
language. Do I do a roll?
No, just clearing your throat and beginning to speak in German. What do you say?
Uh, I say it is fantastic to meet someone from such an interesting country, and I ask him where exactly is he from.
The Baron smiles and answers back in German. The von Reicht family is one of the oldest and most respected families in all of Germany, and I am a direct descendant of that noble line. As my title indicates, I too am actually noble, at least in my country. My family is, well, it dates all the way back to the Sleskis. The blood of Attila the Hun courses through my veins. A dubious honor indeed, but a welcome one. Would you not agree? The old country is most dear to me, and even the very soil of the ground is like gold to me. This is how greatly I love the land of my birth. Ah, but alas, I was forced to leave my homeland with my ever beautiful wife. You see, in this ever changing and growingly technological world that we reside in, certain comforts must be abandoned for the betterment of business. Simply put, I am an industrialist, and the benefits of living in your country unfortunately outweigh that of home. I must keep up with the times, you know. I must find a supply of certain raw materials which are crucial to me to be more abundant here and easier to come by. There's something that doesn't seem right about that statement, but even just comprehending it, you're currently reeling from all the fancy German words he was throwing at you in that short passage.
Yes, but he seems like a very passionate man. It does seem strange that the manor, from at least word of mouth, is empty most of the time, or at least it doesn't. Well, from what the locals said, it appears once a year, and other times it's nowhere to be found. So that needs to be explored. May I ask him further questions, or is he in a hurry? Could I
Um,
ask him how often they reside here, for example?
you ask that question, and he replies, all year round. From this conversation with the Baron so far, mark down 5 record points.
Okay.
Mhm. And, oh yeah, could you also make an anthropology roll too?
Oof.
You just gotta
Well,
restart the music.
that'll most surely fail because that's at 1%. Unless we get a critical success. No, that's a 6! Ah! We should have studied anthropology in university, but no, that's a fail.
What does anthropology start at? 1?
1. Yep.
Yeah, it's one of those rare skills. Well, yeah, as the conversation goes on and on, you actually find yourself enjoying your time with the Baron, even if you started out with great doubts about this place. Perhaps all the legends were quite unearned, though the Baron does have that a bit overbearing character that one might find in a European migrant, even if he is very cultured.
Hmm. A very energetic fellow.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they're different in those charming foreign ports. His
Well, we
wife,
probably
though,
should get.
has
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
said anything. That's one thing that you notice. Even though Jonah actually does try to strike up a conversation with her a few times, she only answers back very shortly and curtly. Shortly, the maid returns with two heavy mugs filled with some nice smelling aromatic beverage, which she hands out to each of you.
Can we ask? Can we try to identify what the beverage is by asking or by just smelling it?
Smelling it, you smell the warm scent of brandy.
That does sound appealing. Um, Perhaps we could just take a little taste.
Sipping down on it, you find that it is warm and sweet and honeyed. Oh, it's nice, and well, you take a few sips of it just so you can hold on to that, even if you want to do so cautiously.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's not get the whole evening down the drain from the get-go.
Mm-hmm. Though obviously alcoholic, you feel quite at ease from drinking this. Very, very at ease. The world around you begins to blur like little pinpricks of bright lights, a collage of almost visions at the edge of sleep, and the chill of your damp head and the conversations of the room seem to fade away. Could you make a power check?
Okay. Power, don't fail us now. So our power is 70, the roll was 13, therefore we succeed. With
Hooray.
flying colors.
You recognize there's something wrong with this. You have to you're not drunk. This is more than being drunk. And as you try to shake and pull yourself out, you see yourself growing closer to the figures. Maybe are you trying to push or pull against someone or something? No, there's a you realize whatever it is, your movements are getting more and more frantic, as are the movements of the blurs. Time seems to be accelerating, but you keep your head, you don't let your eyes close, and you're awoken. Well, woken's the wrong word. All fades to black with a scream that is obviously not yours.
Oh no. Whose scream is this? We need to look at the source of the
Hold on.
scream.
Oh, it didn't play it. Aw. Might try this.
There is certainly screaming.
Oh, can you hear it? I can't hear
Yeah, it's in the lobby.
it. Well, I won't treat you to repeating screaming over and over again, but for whatever reason it wasn't playing it on my end. That is strange.
Oh well.
uh,
Could this be in our head? Could this be an imagined scream?
yes, yeah.
So do we manage to locate who's screaming? Is Jacob okay?
That's what you think. That's the name that flashed in your head. Is Jacob okay? When you open your eyes and the blackness ceases, your head is sore and groggy, and the room around you is in disarray. An eerie feeling slithers down your spine. Where has everybody gone? Where is Jacob?
We call out to him.
call out to Jacob, and could you make me a spot hidden roll?
You got it. Let's find the guy. Gives us an 8. Spot hidden is at 25, so that's a success.
Beneath a dusty chair, as you're walking around the room and calling out, you spot a gleaming crystal face in shattered little pieces. Going over and investigating, the blinding light clears, and you find Corey's watch smashed, an obvious sign of the struggle. Gain 6 record points, and you're now of a choice. You could continue to search this manor house for your friend who you've become separated from, or obviously recognizing you may be in over your head. If you're that kind of person, you could also attempt to make your leave.
Well, yeah, we did kind of get more that we bargained for here. That's definitely a story, but the story is now involving us. And our skills in English and literature may not exactly be the most apt for this situation. Perhaps, but we can't abandon Jacob. It's not right. It's simply not correct to do so. So let us explore the mansion further for him.
Your conscience steels your mind against your doubts, and clenching your fist, resolving for Jacob, you, well, step out and begin to survey the layout of the manor house. And at this point, check handouts for the house map, because this has opened up. You're in room 228, and though you must call out a number if you are to pass through it, you can visit any room by calling out its number. And you can now begin to
what's the
search for your
current?
friend in the mansion.
What's the current number? Once again,
228.
228. All right. Let's see where I went. 220. So we are near the staircase on the ground floor. The exit doesn't seem to be too far away.
And if you see in handouts, that's where the mansion layout is.
Yeah, looking at it. Did we, however, manage to understand where the scream was coming from, at least approximately? Was it from the same
No,
floor?
it seemed to be lost in that period of lapsed time. Though, with the placement of this watch, you're pretty sure your friend was accosted and dragged from the room.
Well, I was a suspicious foreigner. Where would I drag away a person? Probably to the basement. Let's... Before we go to the basement, let's check the room across from where we came, supposedly, the 313, and see if there's anyone there.
Alright. Heading across the way to room 313. As you step out into the hallway, you hear one of the numerous clocks that lines the hall here chime. It is now 7 o'clock. It's obvious many hours have passed since you lost consciousness, and that makes finding your friend all the more urgent. You're not sure how much time he might have left.
Oh gosh. What's a man to do in this situation? Well, let's not deviate from the plan. Let's go to 313 nonetheless and check, because that seems to be the central room, and there's gonna be something in there.
The double doors of this dining room creak open slowly as you peer into the gloomy, grimy chamber ahead. A large spiderweb shrouded table rests in the center of the room. 13 place settings around the table, with a like number of chairs. A once elegant candelabrum holds up the tent of spiderwebs from the center of the table. You could try to listen in to sounds here, or investigate the room more generally.
Let's... well, there doesn't appear to be anything in there, so maybe we shouldn't waste much time. The room is clearly empty. Okay, let's go with the more potentially creepy outcome. Perhaps he was dragged away to the basement. There's no time to check every room on the ground floor. There's a lot of them, but in the basement there's a large space, which perhaps would be easier to look through. So on the side there is a staircase, and we want to head down to 481.
Alright. 1 record point for exploring the previous room. And 481?
Yes.
Alright. Heading down into the basement, you come across the cellar, which, at least stepping into its introductory part, is totally empty, except for more spider webs and cloying dust. You can visit any of the adjacent rooms.
Is it possible to listen, or it's only possible to check them?
There's obviously nothing in this part, but you can explore the other parts of the cellar.
Okay, let's check out 559, because there seems to be something marked as an exit, supposedly. It's good to know if there's a way out.
This cold, barren room contains only one thing. A very large crate. The crate is made of wood slats, a few of which are broken. And as you squint, could you make me a spot hidden roll?
Yes, 1 second. Oh, that's a fail. That's 29 over 25. So nothing happens.
29 or 25.
Darn it.
Well, yeah, you don't see anything as you try to look through the breaks in the crate, though you could still attempt to open it if you wish.
Well, what's we gotta lose? Let's try and let's try and break that boy open. Let's see what's inside. Hopefully it's not Jacob.
That's the thought you put out as you go and begin to wrench the lid off. Those. The crate is empty. 2 record points.
Thank heavens. An absence of a corpse is, well, 1 corpse less potentially.
Well, an absence of a corpse in 1 room.
Alright, let's not lose hope just yet. So, how about, since the cellar is so very empty, we go back to the ground floor and we use the other staircase to get to room 271.
Room 271. You slowly crack open the door and peer inside. This is a billiards room, obvious from the huge billiard table that stands heavily in the center of the floor. An ornate fireplace decorates one wall, stonework adorned with fiercely snarling and ugly faces and creatures. There's obviously some kind of cult significance to this, though there's also an eerie, overwhelming presence in this room. And you could also choose to look for anything secret or hidden in it. 2 record
But,
points.
but we could do an occult check here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's do that. Ooh, 52 over the 40. That's a failure.
You're unable to recognize what these stone figures are. Return to
Well,
the map.
that was a waste of time. That was a waste of time. Time which we do not have. Alright. The second floor seems to be even more convoluted than... Well, about as convoluted as the ground floor. So perhaps, in a stroke of genius, we start off by going towards the 604 staircase, as we intend to go up to the 3rd floor.
Yes, moving into this staircase, you see that it goes up and up and up. It appears that this staircase leads up into the tower you saw from outside.
Well, let's go all the way up to 443 then.
Yes. Following the steps up, would you first like to go to the tower or would you like to go to 443?
Oh, right, so the staircase is itself. Yeah, let's go to the tower first. Maybe we can see what is going
At the top
around.
of the stairs, you find a heavy wooden door, which is securely locked. With a mechanical repair check or locksmith, you could try to finesse it open, or you could attempt to bust it down with your strength.
Well, you know what? Let's put that brawn to use. Let's try to bust it open. Rolling
Make a strength
28.
check. And tell me
Yeah,
your
rolling a
level of
20.
success. Is it just under half, under 1/5?
It is. It is not under half. It is only under the base value.
I see. You slam into the door, but... And though it creaks a bit, its strength is enough to... that you find yourself breaking against it as well. You suffer 1 point of damage.
Oof. Okay, down to 6.
Yes, you can...
Such an unfortunate situation.
Yes, it is now 7:30, and you can take a bit of time to try to heal yourself. Either with a medicine or first aid check.
Okay. Let's try a first aid then. Let's do a first aid check. Oh. 5 under the 30. That's a
Nice.
success.
You regain 1 hit point as you tear a bit of this suit away and use it as a makeshift bandage.
Okay. Overall, we learned that busting down doors is not our specialty. In which case, let's go back to our original objective and go to room 443.
This cavernous room is thick with the cloying smell of chemicals. A quick survey of the chamber shows it to be a laboratory of some sort. Jars and vials of assorted liquids, powders, dried plants adorn shelves and tables. Large glass jars hold the preserved remains of various animals in yellowed fluid. Rats, cats, frogs, as well as a grisly assortment of larger mammalian organs such as hearts, eyes, brains, and more. Strange
Wow, those must be
electronic
those natural
equipment.
components.
Panels of switches. What were you saying? Sorry, I'm cutting you off.
Sorry, no, those must be those natural resources that the Baron was talking about.
Perhaps. A grisly thought. Strange electronic equipment and panels of switches, levers, dials, meters, plugs, and lights line the walls, and in the very center of the room, over a raised platform, hangs a large metal slab rigged with swivels and winches, suspended by large chains hanging from the ceiling. Basically, you can attempt a large number of skill rolls here. Any science will do. Climb to get a better vantage of the room. Cthulhu Mythos. Electrical repair, idea or no, or library use. Or just luck. Mechanical repair. Occult. Medicine. Spot hidden.
Let's go with idea. Let's go with an idea roll.
Make an idea roll. And also add 8 record points.
Done. Okay. Roll done. It is not below half. It is, so it's 34 and the intelligence is 60.
This cold, cavernous room brings to mind the weird, classic lab of some mad scientist, as you would find in Frankenstein or any of that genre fiction. An icy chill slithers down back as you look at the contents of the room and realize that someone seems to be attempting to do just that. Animate corpses. You make me a spot hidden roll and add 4 record points.
Alright. Let's try and spot something. Nah, that's a failure. 49 over 25. Is it possible to attempt a library use, perhaps?
Yes, make a library use roll.
Ooh, big failure. 83 over 30.
Searching around through the books of notes and chemical-stained pages, you're unable to find anything of value in the 10 minutes it takes you to search. It is now 8 o'clock.
Okay, what else can we do? Let's try an education roll. Is that possible?
Yes, a no roll.
Okay, 34 versus 60. That's once again less than a half. I mean, more than a half.
Cold
rather.
chill creeps down your spine, and you shiver when you realize that the equipment within this room is all here. Different means to try to breathe life into the dead. From electroshock to these various strange alchemical contraptions to the mechanical gears that have been inserted partly into the preserved jars, the material of these preserved jars. 4 record points. And could you make me a spot hidden roll?
Okay. 56 over 25. Failure.
You continue to look around the room, but you don't see anything.
Well, whatever creepy heebie-jeebies they are up to here, if Jacob dies, at least we will be able to bring him to life with all this fancy, schmancy stuff they're going through. But hopefully it won't come to this. Hopefully we won't need to bring him back. Hopefully we'll find him before he crosses to the other side. Did you say we could do a medicine or a first aid?
First aid. You can attempt a first aid check, each slot on the timetable, or 1 point.
Okay, let's do that while we're at it. First aid roll. Oh, 21, less than 30. Success.
You regain another hit point. It is now 820.
Okay. We've been spending too much time here. Perhaps
Could you make
let's go down to
me
the
a
second
listen
floor.
roll?
Yeah. Yes. 93. Absolutely a failure.
An ominous creak or groan shudders throughout the room, and you don't know the source of it. It's probably best to vacate.
Okay, let's go down the room. No, let's go downstairs into what would be the most interesting one? Let's go downstairs, down the corridor, and into the 308.
308.
So that in the meantime we can have a good look of the second floor and maybe.
As you enter this
something.
chamber, you're overcome with the unnerving feeling of death. Cold, skeletal fingers clutch at your neck. There before you is the once lavish master bedroom. A seemingly giant bed rests wearily against a wall, surrounded by dressers, dressing tables, some faded and moth-eaten chairs, and a tremendous fireplace. In total awe of the sheer elegance and stillness of the room, you're only broken out by the shiver that continues to creep along your body. Above the fireplace hang two paintings, one of a woman and of a man. As you cross the room, the soft tinkle of cut crystal breaks the silence as the ornate and dust-shrouded crystal chandelier begins to sway gently.
Oh.
You could try to discern what seems off here, listen in, determine, well, pick up on the ominous presence in this room, or search it more generally.
What is responsible for searching it more generally?
That would be spot hidden.
That would be spot hidden. Okay. Let's do a spot hidden roll then. It's bound to be something in the bedroom. Ah, it's 29 against 25. Failure.
1 record point, and you're unable to find anything in this room.
So far we're coming up very, very extremely empty. Okay. If only we could find out which room the library was, because, well, we are not just a writer, but also a reader. Perhaps. Let's go back down to the ground floor and visit 241.
As you open the door to this chamber, you can't help but notice how damp and humid the air is, with an almost salty smell. As you ease yourself in, you discover the source of the dampness. A huge slime-covered pool fills the room. Thick, black, and billowy algae and seaweeds float on the stagnant water, and the once delicate and beautiful tiled floor buckles and cracks. Foul-scented water trickles from the walls and ceiling. You could listen
can we...
in, or you could investigate this room more closely.
Alright, once more for luck, let's spot hidden.
Make a spot
75.
hidden.
Failure.
Cautiously, you search around, and growing close to the edge of the thick, disease-infested water, though all seems still and quiet, suddenly all is broken by a scaled, bloated, tentacle horror rising with a hiss from within the depths. Make a sanity roll, please.
Oh, goodness. 85. 85 against 70.
Let's see.
That's a
Results of
failure.
your sanity check. Oh my god. That is 8 points of sanity damage. I will say,
Okay.
since you've exceeded the 5 threshold, once you've exceeded 5 points of sanity damage, you're at risk of ending the game by a bout of insanity. Unless you'll make a check, an intelligence check, to see if you're unable to, well, if your mind begins to spin out of control. But that is, if it does, that is a loss. You can spend record points to negate sanity at a cost of 10 record points per 1 point of sanity mitigated.
Okay, so that would mean 30 record point loss. That's too much. Let's do an intelligence check.
Make
Let's
the
trust in our
intelligence
mind.
check. You're hoping to fail.
69.
What's your intelligence?
60.
Then you have failed. And though your mind is suddenly overwhelmed, your vision goes flashes with color, your ears blurring, your heart beats in them. Your mind is not spun out of control. It does not begin to correlate its contents in a way that takes you from whatever hope and momentary ignorance you cling to, even as you're faced by absolute terror in the form of this octopoidal monstrosity. But it does not wait for you. A tentacle lashes out, flapping into the floor next to you and sending debris into the air.
Well, it's time to leave the room, definitely.
Yes.
Time to get out there.
Rushing out, you leave as the thing remains in its pool, roaring behind you. 5 record points, and 1 point of Cthulhu Mythos gained.
Well, we're definitely way over our head now. It's not even about Jacob anymore. There's definitely some really outlandish stuff going on. Is it too late to leave the mansion?
You can leave the mansion at any time.
But that will be the end of, well,
Mhm.
of the game.
Yeah.
And Jacob's immediate demise, of course. Well, our sanity is still present. We did dodge a bullet there, so maybe that won't happen again. Maybe we will be able to avoid more of such major incidents. Let's check another big room. No, actually, let's check the room next to this one, the 289.
Peering through the glass doors of this room, you see that it was once opulent, a greenhouse. The doors squeak and groan as you swing them in and enter the chamber. Rain pours in through the many broken and missing panes of glass in the roof. A set of double doors lead from this room out into the back garden. Many twisted and odd forms of vegetation grow within the soil of the floor and hang creepily from cracked hanging pots and baskets, dangling precariously. The plants are the most unusual you've ever seen, with many strange foliage and colors. Plants with yellow thorny vines and gray flowers twist and creep along the broken bricks of the floor, while stiff, sharp red sword leaves with pink warts sprout up out of the tile. An odd black foliaged growth is thriving, hanging from the roof, its green fibrous roots dug right into the glass. This whole room is a bizarre sight. You may attempt to look at it with science botany or spot hidden. 2 record points.
Well, that is clearly a failed hydroponics experiment. Whatever they're trying over the continent. One of those fancy schmancy things.
This is not the form of German engineering you expected.
Yes, German science is a mystery to us here.
No wonder they call it the greatest in the world. Right, greatest in the world.
It is indeed. It is indeed. Perhaps Lady Luck will shine on us this one time, and we'll try to spot hidden. Nope, no such luck. 48 against 25.
You search around the room, but other than the conventional weirdness, you don't pick anything out. 1 record point. Sorry, scratch that. And it is now 9 o'clock.
Okay, those pointless spot hidden checks clearly aren't doing us any favors. It's time to rush. Okay, let's do 374.
Warped and buckled double doors crack open loudly, stirring up a gray cloud of dust that spins cyclone-like off into a shadowy corner of the room. As you cautiously step in, you discover that you have found the library. Towering cases and countless shelves line the walls, all packed with books. A once beautiful oriental rug smothers the dull hardwood floor and is held in place by majestic, bulky oak furniture. Stubs of candles tell of constant use by some unknown reader.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Finally, our reading skills may come to use. Okay, what options do we have here?
You can make a library useful or use any one of these specialties. Anthropology, archaeology, astronomy, botany, Cthulhu mythos, history, occult, or zoology.
Okay, let's do a library use check. $24 or less than 30, success.
Searching with nothing in particular in mind. You find that one book is lying out, a dog-eared copy of Bram Stoker's Dracula. You notice the page is folded over. On that particular page you find references, as the character of Dracula is speaking, to an ancestral bloodline, dating back to Attila the Hun. As you peer through the book, there are more references. Other secrets left in on plain sight among this book. Add a 5% to your occult stats. 5 record points.
Okay, occult up to 45. Okay, other... So literature is not a skill we can use here. Is that correct?
Literature?
Yep.
I'm not sure I even remember that character sheet. Let me see. Oh, arts and craft literature, I see. You pumped a lot into that. Though I'd say that would lead you to the same copy of Bram Stoker's Dracula that you just pulled.
Oh, okay. Could have rolled with that one, supposedly. Well, it's a good thing that works out. Okay, so the Baron is a vampire. Allegedly. Not gonna besmirch his name just yet.
Allegedly.
He was quite nice. Look, we can't jump to conclusions. The man gave us some clothes and a nice reception. Maybe he's just European. That's always an option.
They raise them differently in those charming foreign ports. They play peculiar sports. And drink blood out of guys in tiny shorts. Oh, that doesn't change the song at all. Damn.
Wow. Perhaps Legally Blonde was onto something. We need to investigate that piece of media as soon as we get out of this mansion.
Only
Dead or
it'll
alive.
be made. If only that piece of important cultural history would be made for at least another few decades.
Oh, true. Well, let's pretend we all just saw it in a dream. Anywho, all we could get out of the library is the fact that something sketchy is going on. Hopefully our literature skill will come in use in some other facility. Otherwise, that would have been rather tragic. But, with all that said and done, what do we do after we found the library? How do we find Jacob? What could help us out? We woke up in 228. The dining room didn't really yield much. The third floor has the lab. And the cellar is empty. Well, let's go back to second floor, because second floor seems to have all the stuff belonging to the owners of this manor. Maybe we'll find more clues there. Let's go to 279.
Voila. As you walk into the den, you notice there's a roaring fire burning in its large fireplace. The yellowish flames throw odd shadows over the many stuffed and mounted animal heads that adorn this room. The taxidermied heads of lions, tigers, various types of deer, and buffalo, as well as large birds of prey, sharks, swordfish, and more, hang upon the walls, glass eyes glaring down at you while you look about the room. These trophies are withered and rotted with age. Clinging threads of dust stretch between ears and antlers and horns. 2 record points and the Without warning, the fire suddenly dies, leaving the room dark, and you jump as you hear the doors slam shut behind you.
Oh, is that the door we came in from, or?
Yes, the door you just came in on.
Okay, let's hide.
Hiding in the dark room. It crawls to 9:30, and yet appears to still be. At least nothing has moved out here with you. and the door remains locked. At least slammed
Okay,
shut.
no choice but to go to 275 then. Let's explore what's in there.
Trying to go out. You find the door is locked. You'll either have to finesse it open with locksmith or mechanical repair, or bust it down.
Alright. Looks like the quirky author boy is gonna have to bust down the door. Let's roll for strength. Oh, 30! Ah, that's still bigger than the half, though.
But this door is weaker than the other one. And as you ram your shoulder into it multiple times, eventually, after a few minutes, it buckles down. It's 9:40, and you're free from this trapped, cursed room again. 2 record
Okay.
points.
Well, we don't have to go to 27, but let's go to 275. It's nearby. Maybe there's something in there after all.
This chamber, a study, is cluttered with heat-covered, once furnished chairs, now messes of spraying and eaten away pillowing, as well as a warped, cracked desk and a case of books. You try to listen in or search this room more generally.
It's impossible to read the books.
You could try to read the books, though there don't seem to be anything of too much note.
Okay. Let's not waste any time on perception checks. Those haven't been really working out so far. Let's maybe then move on to 314, the corner room.
Alright. 1 record point and 314. A room that was once a bedroom. A man's from the look of the furniture and decor. Like the others, this room seems to have been long unused. It may attempt any of the following. Well, you could try to see what seems off to you. You could employ your luck. Or you could search more generally.
Okay, let's employ our luck.
Make a luck check for me.
91 over 70. Absolutely devastated.
As you walk across the floor, the boards creak, suddenly splintering and cracking, sending you plunging down. You take 3 points of damage as you land on your side and hear something crack in your chest. You're now in room 331.
Alright, down to 5 health points. Well, since we're in there, let's see what's in 331.
This is another den, but mostly features a single outlandish sight. A large stone bust of an unnamed, unidentifiable man perched on a high pedestal. You could look at it historically, or you could search this room for anything that might be hiding in it. 2 record
And
points.
searching the room that's spot hidden, as always. We're not very big on history, and neither are we big on spotting hidden stuff. Now, let's move on. Let's move on to 374.
Warped and... Oh, this is the library again.
Oh, right. Does it count as time passing?
It does not.
Okay. Okay, health status tattered. Jacob nowhere to be found. Second floor yields no results. And neither does ground floor except for the eldritch tentacle in the pool. Well, since the third floor is where all the hubbub seems to be happening, let's go up there.
Walking up to the third floor. Where would you like to investigate?
Let's check 426.
426. This dusty room is filled with boxes and trunks of various shapes and sizes. You could try to listen for anything out of the ordinary, or search for anything hidden.
Okay, let's try a spot hidden check. 73, that's a failure.
You're unable to find anything of note. 1 record point.
We need the leads, we need some kind of a lead. Alright, let's go 468.
This room is completely empty. You could search for anything hidden, or listen for anything out of the ordinary.
No, let's move on to 472 then.
1 record point. It is now 10 o'clock.
Let's do a first aid check.
Alright, make a first aid roll. 472's door seems locked.
First aid roll is 26, which is lower than 30, so that's success.
I shall restore 1 hit point.
Alright, back up to 6. Successfully not dying yet. Let's try 475 then. That's the last one remaining. At least we'll have the third floor covered.
Yeah. You could try to break down 472, but 475. This door is also locked.
And are they both equally sturdy doors?
The door of 475 is much sturdier.
Okay, let's try to break down 472.
Tell me your level of success on that strength.
Oh, pretty bad. 88 over 50. More than half over.
Slamming into it a few times. Next few minutes, you're unable to make it budge.
Well, at least we didn't take any damage. There's that. There's that little consolation prize. Okay, let's go back down to second floor and look in... Have we been to 378 yet?
378. This room is a woman's bedroom. Everything is very old, as is the rest of the house, though unlike most of the other rooms, everything here is draped with yellowed sheets. You could look around, or try to listen for anything out of the ordinary. 1 record point.
Now let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. We need to find something occult. We need to use that occult knowledge. And since the occult stuff seems to be happening on the ground floor, let's go there. Let's go, say, into the room 250.
You instantly recognize this room as the kitchen. Dirt and long curtains of dust shroud everything and delicately drape like fine lace between furniture. You could try to pinpoint what seems odd, or look around for anything hidden.
Okay, let's try to pinpoint what seems odd. That's what are we checking out? What are we checking this against?
Intelligence.
Oh, okay. Well, the roll was 25. Intelligence is 60, so that's actually less than a half.
While the cobwebs here make interesting designs, it doesn't seem to be too much beyond that that's out of the ordinary with this room. 1 record point.
The full places. And
It
whole
is
place
now
to succeed in
10:30.
intelligence. Oh no, running out of time. All right. So that is the kitchen. So the ground floor is kitchen and the dining room and all that other fancy stuff that happens. So if we will find any occult stuff, then yeah, it's probably on the second floor instead. That would make sense. Okay, let's go back up to the second floor and check out the room 382.
A bedroom. The chamber is furnished normally for a bedroom, and all seems to be in order.
Wow, that's a rare sight.
Hmm. Oh, to look around, maybe it's a phantasm darting across your eyes. But or rather your ears, because with a flutter and with the soft creak of the window, you'll hear your name. Time. Softly being called. Turning to face the source of the voice. It's a very beautiful young woman, sitting seductively in a large canopied bed. 2 record points, and you make me a
Yes.
power roll.
All right. Finally, someone we can interact with. 63 against 70.
Regular
So
success. 2. There's almost, as you glance at the eyes, you blink and take a step back, as if on instinct.
All right. How does she? The could we ask her who she is?
Asking who she is. You hear repeated back to you. Who are you? Who are you? Are you being mimicked?
Dang it, lady. It's no time for pranks, woman. Could we? Well, this is clearly some kind of occult to Hickory going on. We got a good throwing arm. We could knock her out. Clearly, approaching her is potentially a hazard. Or we could somehow try to analyze this psychologically. Probably not.
How shall you handle this? greatest of all challenges. A woman in front of you.
Damn it. College has not prepared me enough for this. The romantic novels were not detailed enough for a situation like this.
The playboy becomes a Don Quixote.
Indeed. Indeed. You know what? We throw something light at her. To see how she reacts. If she wants to be silly, we're gonna be silly too.
Bringing up your throwing arm and going to toss your notepad, or actually a pen would be better. You throw it, but there's a whoosh. You look up, she's on the ceiling above you. Demeanor changed. Face snarling. Eyes beating out red. There's an ear-splitting shriek, and she jumps down at you. Could you make me a sanity roll?
Alright, sanity roll incoming. 11 against the 62.
Right before she reaches you, she vanishes. Like an apparition into the thin air. And you still yourself against the fright. 3 record points.
Phew, such a pitiful ghost. Repeating our words back to ourselves. No one's afraid of parrots. Is there anything else in the room?
No. As you look around, it is clear that this only has the normal things you'd find in a woman's occupied room.
Gosh darn it, this is turning into a Disney ride. Which is also doubly weird since Disneyland is not even a thing yet. Where do all those... What are all those references coming from? Maybe I've been reading too many books. Anyway. With a tentacle downstairs and a ghost girlfriend upstairs and no Jacob inside. Slightly battered, but not yielding to potential danger of vampirism. What will Just-in-Time do? Asks Just-in-Time to himself. And he answers, Just-in-Time would probably have a drink. But there is no drink around, so instead Just-in-Time will go the counterintuitive route of checking out the most unassuming room on the floor, the 281.
This is a bathroom, or water closet, and there's nothing of interest here.
Well, good to know, at least there is some kind of plumbing around. At least those appearances kept up. Fine. In that case... 266? Haven't been explored yet?
As you approach this room, you can clearly make out the sounds of a piano being played on the other side of the door.
Well,
you may pass
let's
on
walk in.
or walk in. Walking in, you find a source of beautiful, melodic music. Hold on. I think I went to the wrong entry in that room. What's the piano? Piano room is... yes, okay. I see.
Alright, let's pretend that never happened. What's a piano? I don't know. Do you know? I don't know.
No, don't worry about it. This room is filled with magnificent old musical instruments. Harps, violins, all centered around a beautiful old grand piano. The marvelous piano is decorated with elegant gold leaf and scrollwork. and yellowed sheet music stands at the ready, awaiting a musician to transform the blurred black spots into masterful heavenly music. You step into a chamber and start to move towards the piano, when before your eyes, a figure of a man in a ruffled shirt, silk coat and tails, and a white wig appears there, seated at the piano.
He wouldn't have any resemblance to O'Brien, would he? That would be quite ironic.
He, in a way, does. 6 record points, and the ghostly pianist signals to you smoothly as it sees you standing there, and then with a fluid gesture begins to play. The innate candelabrum atop the piano spontaneously alights, casting a weird glow across the chamber. Could you make me a sanity roll?
Alright. 44 against 62.
You steel yourself against the ghost light, its eerie eminence drawing you in. You can make a no
Compared to
roll
all
at
this
this point.
Yeah, compared to all the other stuff, that's pretty tame. Let's do a no roll. Dang it, 65 against 60, that's a failure.
Well, gain 4 record points, but the apparition vanishes, and you're left in the empty room.
Well, this has been educational, in a way. If not completely useless, in our quest of finding Jacob. Okay. So far it's been fun. Maybe we can find some kind of occult stuff down in the basement that will give us more ideas.
There's a lot of rooms you didn't search there.
Let's go down to 506 then.
Peering through the open archway that leads into this part of the basement, you see that it appears to be a storage area. Piles of crates and boxes fill most of the space, and well, you may attempt any of the following. Searching generally for hidden things, trying to discern the ominous presence in the room, seeing if your knowledge can discern anything about it, or just checking it out, hoping luck takes you.
Okay, let's roll for luck. $31 against 70. Success.
Nice. This must be your lucky day. You found a penny on the ground. 2 record points.
Well, that will buy a glass for the poor old Jacob at least.
That's one of the funnier entries. It is now 11:10.
It's coming to a close, isn't it? Well, let's use the opportunity for the first aid roll. 77 against 30. Failure.
It's now 11:20. And, well, you're unable to close up any more of your wounds. It seemed to be mostly internal.
Okay, in that case, let's... Let's check out the adjacent 591.
The squeaking and creaking of the rusted hinges echoes through the dingy, cold cellar. And peering in is a towering pile of wood, but something behind it. You Draw closer. The outline of boots visible. And then the full body of an older man. You
Is he
make
dead?
me a sanity roll. Obviously, very dead.
Oh, 94 against 62.
3 points of sanity damage.
Okay, down to 59.
On the body of this man is a satchel. And within it, you find eight sharp wooden stakes and a sturdy mallet. Also in the bag is a strange 5-pointed star-like symbol etched on a small oval stone.
Can we inspect it or somehow use our occult knowledge? Figure out what it is?
Make a Cthulhu Mythos check.
Ooh. Wait, how much of that? I have 1% of that.
It's a rare skill.
27, failure.
If you really wanted to, you can always push down failed skill checks with luck. I'm not sure why I'd spend so much.
So how does that work?
Earn 1 point of luck to reduce your roll by 1. Equal.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's
But it can
not
help
worth it.
push you into the bounds of success, just barely.
Yeah. Well, next time we barely fail, we'll definitely utilize that.
Gain 5 record points. And as you drop the sack to the floor, you hear something else clatter within.
Well, let's check it out. Let's look inside the sack further.
Within the satchel is, in a secret compartment, is 5 vials of, well, when the verses light upon them, you'd have to guess this is holy water. Holy water rules are in handouts, and it looks like there would have been 6, but one cracked when the bag fell to the ground.
Oh, fantastic. Sorry, what was the second option outside of listen? Was that a spot
Listen,
or...
spot hidden, or track are your options.
Well, the one time it should work out, right? Let's go for spot hidden. 70 failure.
Failure. You find yourself, well, you try to keep on the tracks to continue following after the procession, but amongst the rain and the wind, the fog, you lose track of them. You know that the hour is drawing nearer. Well, not the hour, but whatever precious time you have left. You have one last chance.
Well,
Attempt
if
the same roll and hope.
If we die here, it was all for naught. If we die here, it doesn't actually matter. We need to go back to civilization. We need to tell people what is going on here. Because clearly, things have been going down. As sad as it is, looks like saving Jacob is outside of our capacity at this point. So, we've tried our best. But now is the time to leave.
Might I remind you that you've become lost in this terribly dark and cold, lonely forest. Spot hidden, listen, or track. Well, track this time, if you're leaving, would be on your own tracks.
Ah. So we are too far gone.
1 record point.
Well, it's time to bet it all. It's time to bet it all. We weren't born in Las Vegas for nothing. Let's go for spot hidden for the processions tracks once more. Let's go to the end.
Make a spot hidden roll.
81.
Damn, that's unfortunate.
Could we use 60 luck points to bring it to 21?
You could.
Alright.
Burning all your luck, a lifetime's worth destiny. It's... At some point, you're not even looking for the tracks anymore. You're just wandering through the forest, hoping you'll end up in the right place. And you do. Because, well, you cross a grove of trees, and there, in front of you, is a circle. A circle of chanting hooded figures, and in the midst of them, Jacob. There's 13 figures total, and overhead are 3 large winged horrors that beat around whatever ritual site these cultists intend to sacrifice your friend at. Could you make me a sanity check?
Alright. 16 against 59.
1 point of sanity. It's too much. But as you hold back the bile in your throat, the 13 figures begin a different chant, their arms now directed towards the cold night sky overhead. They pull back their hoods, and you see the Baron, the Baroness, O'Brien, Miss Quinn, and others. Von Reichs appear to be the leaders, and the butler and the maid hold Jake down upon the altar. You must act now, or you'll be lost to seeing what happens.
Let's throw the holy water at the horrors.
horrors are a bit out of reach, but you could hit one of the cultists.
Okay, let's go for the Baron then.
Make a throw roll.
$40 against 50. Success.
Success. Very good. The blessed liquid hits its target, and an ear-splitting shriek echoes through the chilly night. There's an instant of muffled silence. Eerily, all the cloaked figures turn and look right at you. And in that moment of rushed confusion, Corey manages to wrestle his arms free from the maid and the butler and join you. The Baron stares at you for a moment, and then with a blood-curdling shriek, his followers rush after to destroy you. You grab Jacob by the arm and rush off into the foggy woods. Your heart nearly explodes within your chest as you see misty figures around you. Figures that become solid forms, the nightmare servants and followers of the Von Reichs. Sanity roll.
Okay, we've gone too far for this to fail. Let's go! 66 against 60.
1 point of sanity damage.
Okay.
You gain 14 record points, and you find yourself you find that from the shadows and misty forms, two humanoid ghoulish creatures with long bared teeth break through, two vampires rushing out to attack you.
We still got 4 vials of holy water, so
You're now in combat.
okay, let's throw a vial at one of the vampires.
It is your turn first, and let's cue some nice music for this. What's the result of your throw roll?
Oh, I haven't done it. Let's do that. 17 against 50.
70
Too
against
good for
50.
them. 17, sorry.
Ah. You connect. The bottle splashes across one of the vampires, and it shrieks in pain. I need to remember how many points of damage it does to vampires specifically. I get you. It's maximized. The vampire
Hell yeah.
recoils, and you see the holy water burn so much away that the vampire looks to be partially reduced to charcoal all across its chest. It slumps down onto one knee. It's incapacitated for the time being, though it hesitantly looks to be trying to stand back up. The other vampire goes in to strike you. Claw lunges out at you. How will you choose to resist? You can choose to try to dodge or fight back.
Ooh. Well, we're not very dexterous, but very strong either. You know, it's fine. Let's Let's fight back.
Make a fighting roll. Contesting the vampires.
15.
What's your fighting?
Oh wait, where is the fighting?
Your fighting.
Oh, sorry.
Brawl
Yeah. Brawl. Yeah, that's 25. So 15 is under 25. Wow.
Your successes match, and the initiator of the attack wins on a tie. The vampire's claw rakes against you, even as you pull from your bag a wooden stake and try to drive it in between its ribs. You take 6 points of damage.
That means I'm dead.
Unconscious. Yeah, and that's a major wound too. However, you have a companion here. I will make a hasty first aid roll to see the results. That's a 19. So even at base percentage, you find yourself being roused back to the ground with one last bit of fighting strength.
How much health do I have left?
1 hit point.
Okay. Do I have a chance to throw some water at the second guy?
You do.
Well, let's do that then. 47 against 50.
Nice. The bottle connects with the vampire. Takes 5 points of damage, nearly maximal. It seems to be standing up though. So it's clear that one more good strike like that and it's all over for it.
Do we have a chance to do that?
It is going to lunge to attack at you. Its claw swings in even more mercilessly than the last. How will you choose to resist? I should mention, you win on a tie with dodge, and you lose on a tie with fighting back, though scoring with fighting back allows you to deliver a hit.
What is dodge scored on? Ah, yeah, on half
your
dexterity.
dex.
All things considered, we do have a better fighting chance with the brawl. 25 versus 20. Wait, so what does it mean to win or lose on a tie? So if we win the throw...
Levels of success. Under half, under 1/5, or just under normal.
So it needs to be a very good throw.
It's a contest. And let's use your fighting brawl skill.
It is, well, it's basic.
Yeah.
It's 25. Okay. Let's dodge. Rolling for dodge.
Alright. Make a dodge.
29.
29. What's your dex?
40. Could I use the remaining 10 luck to bring it down to...
You can.
Yeah, okay, so then I bring it down to 19.
Under half, you match the hard level of success of the vampire, narrowly dodging out of the way of his merciless claw. It is your turn.
Well, let's throw... How many vials we have left? So we've thrown one at the Baron, one at the first vampire, another at this one. We have 2 left, let's throw the last remaining one at this guy. Well, not the last, but the one before last, you know, one of the 2 remaining. Rolling for the throw. Yeah, no.
Roll for the throw.
13 against 50.
That's great. The bottle connects, and striking the vampire now across its neck. The water almost burns through, and the vampire's head is severed from its body, rolling to the ground as the whole beast collapses into dust. The other vampire looks to be rousing to its feet. You have
Well,
one more throw against that.
well, let's use it then. It's now or never. Let's finish him. One. Actual
Critical
one.
success. That is the luckiest of the lucky. I'm not even rolling for that, but I did, and that just totally kills the vampire. It hitting a square in the chest, the water splashes across every part of it, and there's a sudden immolating bang as it's reduced to dust.
Would be nice if that happened earlier, but hey, at least that problem's dealt with. Oh yeah, and I still have the major wound, right? From the...
You still have the
damage.
major wound.
Okay. Marked it down. Alright. Well, now that the two vampires are gone, hopefully we can either run away completely or hide and maybe not die. Otherwise it'll be quite disappointing after all this effort.
Yeah.
Maybe
Let me
Jacob will make
figure
it out.
the last passage from before, but they had to go back and reference that after pulling up the statistics.
Okay.
Alright. You regain 4 sanity points from your achievement. And now my monitor almost died there. And now taking Jacob by the hand, who is nearly catatonic at this point, but still you can see the gleaming of absolute admiration for having killed the 2 vampires. That seems to be rousing him back.
Sweet.
You rush
Because
out.
I am almost out of commission.
You rush out, finding your way out of the forest. You end up on a foggy, cold road, walking in the rain. That doesn't deter you one bit. When you blink, you wake up in a different place. A room in Arkham, on a comfortable bed.
Okay. I look around.
Shortly after, an orderly comes in. When she sees that you're awake, Jacob rushes into the room. You wonder how long he's been there, but he's overjoyed to see you back. You were nearly at the edge with the wounds that you sustained, but you've been pulled back to health, and you have quite the story to tell. 5 record points, and what's your final total?
Alright, let's count. Gotta pull up the calculator for that. Calculators existed in... Well, we gotta pull up the arithmometer for that, sorry. The new Charles Babbage machine.
And while Ibero does his office job work, as is the specialty and most fun part of playing a tabletop, this module is the Alone on Halloween supplement for Call of Cthulhu. The authors are Pagan Publishing, and, well, as you can see when I was mentioning entries and furiously mouse scrolling around, this is a solo, or one GM, one player, and can even be played without a GM, just by following the written entries as a sort of choose your own adventure style game. This has been very fun, and I hope it's been enjoyable for you too as well, Ibiro.
Yes, that was extremely fun. Well, as an aspiring writer, I gotta say I now understand the perspective of one yet to be born Japanese author named Rohan Kishibe, who spoke about having to be a sort of inside the events to understand them better. And that is absolutely true. A better vampire story will never be written. But this was amazing. Especially especially how the circumstances forced us to actually go after Jacob. There was a moment where we had doubts. And yet, despite everything, despite using up all our luck, we made our own destiny. There should have been a Giorno theme playing in that particular moment.
It's funnily enough, but people say that D&D is quite anime-esque with how powerful you become. But the most anime things I've seen done in any tabletop have come from Call of Cthulhu. Those simple, try to beat my 1%. It doesn't matter, I got a natural 1, which is the best thing in this game, and that means I win. I've seen players dodge the brain-sucking tentacles of Haster. I've seen players rig the explosion of Azathoth to clear an alien colony off the map. Call of Cthulhu is truly a very rewarding game to play.
Indeed, but it wouldn't be as rewarding if you were not the GM, Fleur. You have made this experience truly unforgettable, and thank you so much for allowing us to participate in this experience.
My CPU melts, thank you very much. And now, it is time for the nomination. So as AIM nominated you, do you have somebody in mind who you think... Well, I think I'll change up the adventure after this, but it will be another Alone-style game. Maybe Alone Against the Frost, or Alone Against the Flames, or Alone Against the Dark, something like that. Does someone pop to mind that you think should be the next to take on a gauntlet of terror and perhaps emerge with heroic victory?
Ooh. Well, there is a professional who we played with who certainly would be into that, and that would be none other than the illustrious fighting game dear Gyaro Garo. If she hasn't taken into this yet, she most certainly will enjoy and definitely play along.
I'd be happy to introduce her.
Then we most certainly and definitively nominate the one, the only, Gyaro Garo.
I didn't even have to ask you to say it with vigor. You just did.
Well, that is merely a side effect of our programming. We have to bring the ham. The ham delivery system has not been uninstalled since the last model. We're still working on that, but the feedback has been too positive for it to be removed.
That's very good. My emotional system is, well, based off a number of brain scans, and I can tell that they might have been selected for sappy traits.
Well, nothing makes ham better than some
sap.
Some sap, yes. That's some kind of a Canadian dish, that sounds like.
Blimey, you're right.
All good things come from Canada.
Jeez, I gotta be more concerned about that.
About what?
About that. About the fact that everything good seems to make its way out of our glorious Maple Lands.
Yeah, the land of leaves.
Except
May
for
they never be
Quebec.
touched by a rake.
Maybe we're paying that debt off.
Maybe. Maybe the modern civilization has indeed been founded by Canadians. And we've just all been taken for fools as they sit wisely in their frozen fortress of solitude, waiting for us to truly understand their wisdom. But that is a tale for another day. In the next
Yes.
episode of Canadian Mysteries on CBC Channel 51, which you will probably be able to access via your satellite dishes. For further information, visit our websites.
Consumerism is
Meanwhile,
good, but maybe we should be restrained when we're talking about the people that like to burn down our government buildings. Well, America's. Just everything in the world in the universe belongs to America. Forgive me. Old pun.
yes, yeah. The scholars still are confused about the nature of ownership in the world.
All I know is that the American Star Federation is a favorite. Their favorite move is gang press.
Gang press. Oh, that's new. Is that because it's done by a gang, or is that because it's
Or
done
press ganging.
gang style? Press ganging, huh? Huh. We'll definitely use the American Google system to look it up.
Yes.
Meanwhile, not to get lost in the branches of the underbelly of modern political and social stuffs. The RP points.
If there's one thing I've learned from working in the records of human history, it is that almost anything will at some point, in some time, sound absolutely perverse.
Yes, that we absolutely agree with you on that. It is all a matter of perspective, and perspectives develop over time. So in the long term, everything becomes unnatural, you could say.
Yes. And then we end up doing weird cultish things out in the forest to the flapping beating of winged horrors. Do you have
Trying
your
to bring
final
back
total?
the ghosts of the past. And the final total being, believe it or not, we don't believe it ourselves, 119.
Wow. That's very good. So I'll mark
Well,
that down, and we'll find somebody to raid.
we did crawled over the whole damn place, didn't we?
Indeed so we did. You know, it's an oldie from back in the day, but we played a very old adventure. Let's raid Mr. Slowbeef of Ret Super A fame.
Let's do that. What shall the message be? How shall we herald our arrival to their chat?
Let's herald our message in with
Drumroll.
critical holy water.
Critical holy water, yes! That is
Holy
indeed the
water
symbol
strike.
of tonight's session.
Critical holy water strike. Cue that up in your messaging application and get ready to fire. We're raiding.
Let's go!